For centuries, the tale of Noah's Ark has captivated minds across the globe. Was it just a myth, a symbolic story, or a historical event? In October 2024, researchers uncovered a groundbreaking Babylonian artifact, a 3,000-year-old clay tablet that could rewrite everything we thought we knew about this ancient story. Could this discovery finally prove that Noah's Ark and the Great Flood were real? Or does it raise more questions than answers? Stay with us as we unravel the evidence, from ancient myths to cutting-edge discoveries, and reveal what this new find means for history and faith. The story of Noah's Ark is one of humanity's most enduring tales. Found in the book of Genesis, it tells of a righteous man tasked by God to build a colossal boat to save his family and pairs of every animal from a devastating flood. But this isn't just a biblical tale. It echoes across ancient cultures. The Epic of Gilgamesh, an ancient Mesopotamian story, describes a strikingly similar flood, where Utnapishtim builds a vessel to escape divine destruction. In Hindu traditions, the story of Manu and a great deluge shares similar themes. These global narratives hint at a shared cultural memory of catastrophic flooding. Yet, despite their similarities, the ultimate question remains: could a global flood and a massive ark have really existed, or are these stories metaphors for survival and renewal? The story of Noah's Ark isn't an isolated narrative. Flood myths appear in cultures worldwide, often with parallels that suggest a shared human experience of survival against overwhelming odds. One of the earliest and most striking examples comes from Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization, where the Epic of Gilgamesh recounts a tale eerily similar to that of Noah. In this epic, Utnapishtim, a favored man, is warned by the gods about a catastrophic flood. He builds a massive boat, fills it with his family and animals, and survives the deluge. When the waters recede, Utnapishtim sends out birds to find dry land, a detail mirrored almost exactly in the Bible's story of Noah. These parallels extend beyond Mesopotamia. In Hindu mythology, the Satapatha Brahmana tells of Manu, who is warned by a fish of an impending flood. He builds a boat, ties it to the fish, and survives to repopulate the earth. Similar stories exist in Native American, African, and even Norse traditions, each recounting a flood that wipes out the old world and brings forth a new beginning. But what do these stories mean? Were they based on real events, or do they represent a common archetype embedded in the human psyche? Ancient civilizations often lived near water sources prone to catastrophic flooding, which could explain the origins of these myths. Yet the consistent details, divine warnings, chosen survivors, and massive vessels keep sparking questions about whether a historical event inspired them all. The idea of a worldwide flood, wiping out all life, may seem implausible by modern standards, but scientific exploration has uncovered clues that could explain the origins of these stories. While a global deluge, as described in the Bible, lacks geological evidence, localized, catastrophic floods are a different story. One of the most compelling theories is the Black Sea deluge hypothesis, proposed by geologists William Ryan and Walter Pittman in the late 1990s. According to their research, around 7,600 years ago, rising sea levels caused the Mediterranean to overflow into the Black Sea. This event could have rapidly flooded surrounding areas, displacing populations and leaving an indelible mark on the collective memory of the region's ancient civilizations. Another focal point of scientific investigation is Mount Ararat in Turkey, traditionally associated with Noah's Ark. The Darupanas site, a boat-shaped geological formation near the mountain, has been studied for decades. In recent years, researchers have used ground-penetrating radar and 3D imaging to explore beneath the surface. Some findings suggest subsurface structures resembling a large vessel, fueling speculation that this could be the Ark. However, many geologists argue the formation is natural, shaped by erosion and geological processes. Despite these debates, modern technology has provided tantalizing insights. Radiocarbon dating, soil analysis, and satellite imagery have supported the idea of significant flooding events in ancient times. Yet, the absence of definitive evidence for a singular ark leaves room for doubt. Could these scientific discoveries represent the inspiration behind flood myths rather than proof of Noah's Ark? While science remains skeptical of a literal ark and a global flood, it doesn't dismiss the possibility of localized events so devastating they became the basis for enduring stories of survival and divine intervention. The search continues for definitive answers. Over the centuries, geological and archaeological research has unearthed fascinating clues that may shed light on the Noah's Ark story and the Great Flood. These findings suggest that while a global flood covering all land masses lacks scientific support, localized catastrophic floods could explain the origins of flood myths. One of the most discussed theories is the Black Sea deluge hypothesis. Around 7,600 years ago, melting glaciers caused the Mediterranean to overflow into the Black Sea, creating a massive flood that submerged vast stretches of land. Other discoveries, like ancient flood deposits in Mesopotamia, further support the idea of massive regional floods. Layers of sediment uncovered in cities like Ur and Shuruppak align with the timelines of ancient flood myths, suggesting that these stories were based on real events that devastated early civilizations. Together, these findings paint a picture of a world where floods left an indelible mark on the human psyche, providing fertile ground for the enduring legends of Noah's Ark. The story of Noah's Ark has always sparked curiosity, but a groundbreaking discovery in October 2024 could be the most significant clue yet. Unearthed near the Tigris River, this 3,000-year-old clay tablet, dubbed the Imago Mundi, is not just the world's oldest map, it may hold the key to the origins of the biblical flood story. The tablet features a detailed account of a great flood. It describes divine beings warning a chosen individual of an impending catastrophe, instructing them to build a vessel to preserve life. But this isn't merely a myth. The tablet includes precise geographic references, pointing to a region known as Urartu, the area now associated with Mount Ararat in eastern Turkey, where Noah's Ark is said to have rested. Even more compelling is the description of the Ark itself. Unlike the rectangular design described in the Bible, the vessel is circular, aligning with earlier Mesopotamian flood myths like the Epic of Gilgamesh. This suggests that the biblical account may have drawn from even older oral traditions shared across ancient civilizations. The Imago Mundi offers more than parallels. It provides historical context that connects the flood narrative to real events. Geological evidence supports the possibility of catastrophic floods in Mesopotamia's ancient past, potentially inspiring these stories. While the tablet doesn't confirm the existence of Noah's Ark, it reinforces the historical foundation of the flood myth. It demonstrates that the narrative wasn't isolated to religious texts, but was part of a broader cultural memory, possibly rooted in a shared human experience of survival. This extraordinary discovery bridges faith, history, and science, sparking new questions. Was there a real flood that inspired the story of Noah, and how much of it is fact versus enduring myth? The story of Noah's Ark has captivated humanity for millennia, and discoveries like the 2024 Babylonian tablet bring us closer to understanding its origins. From the geological evidence of regional floods to ancient texts that predate the Bible, the narrative seems rooted in real events, albeit with mythical embellishments over time. While science largely dismisses the possibility of a global flood, it doesn't discount the power of catastrophic events to leave lasting impressions on the human psyche. The parallels between the Bible, the Epic of Gilgamesh, and the Imago Mundi tablet suggest a shared cultural memory of survival and renewal after disaster. But the mystery remains. Could the flood story, passed down and adapted through generations, have a core of truth? Or is it a powerful allegory meant to inspire and guide? If you found this deep dive into Noah's Ark fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think? Was the Ark a real vessel, or is it simply one of humanity's greatest stories? Did Noah receive word from God and save humanity? Perhaps this new evidence will finally answer the question, is Noah's Ark real?